Hello, everybody. Happy Memorial Day weekend. I want to say thank you to those active military members who served our country to keep us safe. I wanted to make sure I have one of these podcasts on this week. We do this weekly. Come join us, usually on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, on physician leadership. I'm Dr. Elsie Kell, the CEO and founder of Lead Physician, and I'm calling to you from Virginia, visiting my father for the first time since last year. It's been a pretty emotional time being with my father. And here I would like to share a picture of us. I surprised him and his three sisters, my brother-in-law, my mom, and my nephews. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Today I'd like to talk to you about fear. Because no matter how smart you are, no matter how much knowledge you've accumulated and experience, without having this strong mindset, you will not be able to accomplish the potential that you're able to accomplish. So one of the things that we talk about in Lead Physician is fear of the unknown, fear of losing a significant amount of money, fear of getting sick, of losing a loved one. There's so many fears that we have, and some are true fears, but most often than not, there are fears that we don't that are not true. There's a lot of thoughts, that the stories in our minds that we create that often are not true. And because of that, we don't have the freedom to really pursue the things that we really believe, and we don't think about it. So once you become aware of these fears, once you become aware of these thoughts that are not serving you, then you'll be free. Then you'll be free to do what you want to accomplish, and be able to persist and be successful as a leader. So one of our guest speakers was Gregg Dickerson. I would like to show you that video today. I want to make sure you see this because it's a wonderful video. Thank you to Gregg Dickerson, a serial entrepreneur, as being on faculty at Lead Physician to help us learn to be better leaders. Thank you, everyone. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Greg, thank you so much for being here. Greg is a serial entrepreneur. He's created multiple businesses. I think he said 12 businesses at least. He's helped multiple people create their businesses and then take it to the next level and make millionaires out of them. And so he's been so gracious to come back and give this talk, and then that's the reason why I invited other people, because he has something special to say. And Greg, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And for those of you that weren't there last time, I'm a serial entrepreneur, real estate investor, and developer. I've been in the business since 1997, full time. Before that, I joined the Navy right out of high school, had a few jobs here and there between 1985 when I graduated, so I'm 53, and started my first and only company in 1997 when I started my entrepreneurial journey, and have never looked back. But my main business model has been real estate investing and development. That's where I made the bulk of my money, that I and then invested in other businesses that generated cash flow to invest in other businesses. So basically self-educated, didn't go to college, learned everything the hard way. And I've done about $250 million worth of real estate deals with my own money, my own cash, and probably 400 or 500 million using investor capital, bank capital, things like that. Started, grown, and scaled and exited about 12 different companies, all kinds of different businesses, from service industries to tech companies and things like that. I'm on the board of a couple of different companies right now, and I coach and mentor people all over the world in different industries, different businesses, teaching them how to invest in real estate, develop real estate, grow their company. I've got people that have digital marketing companies, physicians that I'm working with that are investing in real estate or starting other companies, things like that. So that's me in a nutshell. And, so I wanted to take a few minutes tonight and just kind of, I guess this is the end of the course. And, a lot of times when you go through things like this, it's great. It's motivational. There's a lot of things, but at the end, you're like, okay, now what do I do? So the unique thing about me and my experience and what I've done is I'm very self-educated. I've read all of the motivational stuff, everything from Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn. I mean, just everything you could think of, Dale Carnegie, all their stuff. And So I'm all about self-education, personal and professional development, and things like that. But where a lot of that stuff falls short is application. What do you do with it? And more importantly, how do you actually overcome the fear of putting it into action? So I think a big thing that a lot of people struggle with is fear and procrastination, which oftentimes can be the same thing in disguise. So what I wanted to do tonight is ask you all if there's something that you've been wanting to do that you haven't done yet or haven't tried or attempted. Is there something in your life, and it can be anything, any area of your life or business, that you've been like, I'd really love to do that, but, or one day I'm going to do this, but. I mean, do y'all have anything like that? Well, cool. Well, almost anybody you meet, anywhere you go, they're going to have something that they've been wanting to do and just haven't done for whatever reason. Too busy, too afraid, things like that. And you don't have to say it here, but I'm sure that there's something that all of you are afraid of or afraid to do. And it could be anything. It could be getting on a plane. It could be taking a trip. It could be whatever, it could be anything, taking a class or, asking for a raise, hiring somebody, leasing a space, building a building. It could be anything. So when it comes to fear and procrastination, sometimes, like I said, they're disguised as the same thing. And the number one way to get rid of fear and get rid of procrastination is to just do it. That's how you squash fear. So whatever it is that you're afraid of doing, you just do it. And once you do it, you realize it wasn't that big of a deal. It seems like it's hard and it's complicated, like, buying a house in Jackson or getting involved in, real estate. It seems like all these things, those are limiting beliefs. Anything that you put into your mind that stops you from taking action is a limiting belief. And then the longer that goes, it manifests itself into fear, which becomes procrastination, and vice versa. The more you procrastinate, the more you become afraid of doing that thing that it is you want to do. I mentioned that I'm 53 years old. So I've had 53 summers and 53 holidays and 53 birthdays, which is, for me, if I live to be 85, that means I've got 32 years left. I only have 32 more summers left in my life. I've already had 53, and when you start thinking of life in those types of terms, especially over this last year that we've just spent, realizing how short life really is. I mean, didn't that year go by like that? I mean, maybe not for some of you in the medical world, but for most people being on lockdown, it's like, I can't believe how fast this went when I couldn't go anywhere, and do the things that I would normally do. And then when you think about that in terms of days, so if you think about how many days 53 years is, that's 11,680 days. So I've been alive, or no, I'm sorry, not 11,000, but it's about 19,000 days that I've been alive. I've only got 11,000 left. I've burned 19,000 days. And then when you look at the hours that you spend awake doing what it is that you were created to do, that's only about 310,000 hours that I've spent alive, awake, doing what I want to do. And I only have 186,000 left. So when you start thinking about things in those terms, then you start to realize, man, do I really want to wait another day, another hour, another minute to do the thing that I've always wanted to do? So for all of you, whatever that is that you want to do and you want to accomplish, I want you to write that down. Could be one thing, could be two things, could be three things. If there's some things that you've been afraid to do or that you've been wanting to do and you've just kind of putting it off, I want you to write those things down. And you can do it now, you can do it later, but I want you to write all that down. And then next to those things, and let's say it's invest in real estate, okay? And let's say it's, buy that house in Jackson, Wyoming. Next to that, I want you to have a column where you write down all of the wonderful things that that's going to create for you. That house in Jackson, man, the vacations, the family gatherings, the seasons of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, just a gorgeous, gorgeous area. Investing in real estate, Katie, the freedom that that's going to provide you and your family to be able to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. I want you to write down all the wonderful things that you're going to be able to achieve and you're going to have and you're going to do because you took that step to do whatever that is that you want to do. And it can be anything. And it can be any area of your life or business. And, if it's other streams of income that you want to create, whether it's businesses or other alternative streams of income, what is that going to provide for you and do for you? And then next to that, I want you to write down what it's costing you and keeping you from having because you're not taking action. So all those wonderful things that you listed you're doing, now next to it, you're going to list that as a cost, because that's what you can't have and you're not able to get and you can't do because you won't take the action. So those are your 3 columns. And then under that, you draw a line. And then underneath that, I want you to write down 1 or 2 things that you can do tomorrow, because you want you to think about this tonight. 1 or 2 things that you can do tomorrow to start tomorrow to work towards that first thing that you wrote down, or second thing or third thing, whatever those first 1 or 2 things are you want to do. You already know what you need to do to start getting there. If it's investing in real estate, you got to educate yourself. If you want to buy a house in Jackson, Wyoming, before you ever get there, you should research the market and know what kind of properties are available, how much they are, who the top agent is that's going to represent you. Send them out, let them video that house, send you information. You may already have all that, but those are steps that you can do first thing in the morning. If you want to start investing in real estate and flipping houses, you need to know the market. You need to know how much they sell for, how many are available, what's the inventory, what's the days on market, where's the best spots to flip, what are your repair costs, how long does it take, how much is it going to cost, who's the best contractors, where's the best realtor, how are you going to fund it? So these are things that you can start doing and researching tomorrow. If you want alternative streams of income, everybody has gifts, abilities, and talents. And the only thing that's keeping you from reaching your goal of where you want to be is 2 things. It's either something you don't know or somebody you don't know. So if you're lacking in either one of those, I want you to write down tomorrow what you can learn to fill that gap and who you can meet to help you. Mastermind. And you're already all here together. So those are things that you can do tomorrow morning when you wake up. And then I want you to put a date on this thing that you're going to do. I'm going to invest in my first property by July 2021, because the other way to kill a fear is to put a deadline on it. So if you want to start working out, you need to put it on your calendar. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to the gym, or every weekday morning, I'm getting up at 6 o'clock. It's on my calendar. I'm going to go out and walk or run or whatever it is. Once you put a timeline to it, and once you have a date certain, that gets rid of all fear and procrastination, because now it's just what you do. It's just on your schedule. So whatever those things are, make sure you put down what it is that you want, what it's going to get you when you get there, and how your life is going to be so much just the perfect life, what it's actually costing you now because you haven't started and taken action. Those 2 are sort of the same thing, but they're kind of not. And then draw that line, and underneath of it, that's your sum of all these things of what you're going to do tomorrow and when you're going to do it. And then just do it. And then Elsie will be your accountability partner for you guys to turn this in. If you're willing to accept this challenge, I want you to turn this assignment into her so she can see what you wrote down, what you're going to do about it, and then she can help you be accountable to these goals. And then once you start doing this, and I want you to pick something that you are really afraid of, that you've been like, man, I ain't going there. I'm just not going to do it. And I want you to use this approach, because once you do it, you will never be afraid to do anything the rest of your life. I don't care what it is. So that is how I've achieved everything I've achieved in my life, with no formal education, no financing, no backers, no official mentors. I educated myself, developed myself, believed in myself. But when I took action and started building those action muscles and getting results, then that built on itself. And then one thing to another. My first deal was a lot flip. I flipped a little lot, made 15 grand. And then I started building spec houses, then I started flipping houses, and I started developing land. Then I started doing subdivisions, commercial buildings, multifamily, almost $1 billion in deals later, here I am. Now that was over a 20 something year period, but my first company, I took from $0 to 30 million in 7 years and sold it. That was my first exit, 7 years. Didn't even know how to build a house. And I was one of the largest luxury home builders in the area. And when I started, never built a house before, had no clue how to do it. And I filled in all the gaps with what I didn't know. I learned. Who I didn't know, I got to know. And who I needed to help me get there, I either hired or partnered with along the way. And that's how I achieved all my goals. So there's nothing that will stop you or stand in your way if you get the knowledge, if you get the right connections and network, and then you take action on all that and put a date certain on it. So that's how you do it. And that's what I wanted to leave you guys with tonight, and put that challenge out for you. And hopefully Elsie will be willing to step in and help you guys on the accountability side of that.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next Sunday at 10 a.m. Please inquire through our website below, www.leadphysician.org, for information of our upcoming course in July. I would love to have you join us, and we'll help you through any fears, worries, and doubt. And I guarantee you, with our money back guarantee, that you will be transformed. It has been an exciting experience and a very rewarding experience for myself to see people make changes in their life by overcoming these limiting thoughts that'll help you become a great leader. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day.